Well, I just published a video a couple of hours ago, and at the end of that video, when I was talking about the 1DX Mark III, I said, we don't know when Canon's going to announce the 1DX Mark III. It could be right after this video. It could be tomorrow. We just don't know. Sure enough, Canon just announced the 1DX Mark III. You can find it on canonusa.com. I'm going to go through some of the key capabilities here that are video focused, and the detailed specifications does have a lot more information than we've talked about in previous specifications, so stay tuned. In terms of video specifications, we have 5.5K RAW, that's 5472 by 2886, and in that mode we get 60 frames a second, 30, 24, and 23.98. That's in RAW. Now remember, auto function does not work at 60 frames a second, but we do get 30 frames a second with autofocus. Now in the rumors, there was no mention of 4K DCI, but the 1DX Mark III does come with 4K DCI in the same frame rates that I just talked about in 5.5K RAW. Again, autofocus does not work. But in this mode, we have both All-I and IPB. There is no option for RAW. In fact, if you're doing video, the only option you get for RAW is in 5.5K. It also comes with 4K UHD, our standard 4K for most filmmakers. And it comes with 29 or 30 and 60 frames a second in both All-I and IPB. And all the other modes that we're going to talk about come with All-I and IPB. Now it does come with a 4K DCI cropped mode. So this differs from the regular DCI mode in that, well, I don't really know, to be honest with you. I bet you what's happening here, because we've got the same frame rates, the same type of codecs. I think what we might find out is that there might be more detail in this mode. Now in full HD, we get 120 frames a second, and guess what? Audio is not recorded at this high frame rate, but there's no mention of losing autofocus. So it looks like at 1080p, we get 120 frames per second, 60 frames per second, 30 frames per second, and 24 frames a second, ranging from All-I, IPB, and IPB Lite. So that looks pretty good for the recording side, not as crippled as many of us had thought. This was something I was really hoping to see. I wanted to see the option of H.265 or HEVC. If you don't have a newer computer, it's going to be tough to work with H.265. It's a modern codec. It preserves more detailed information, more dynamic range, and more color. And if you're going to be working with 4K, you really do want to get a machine that can handle H.265. So this is a big plus. We have H.264 and we have H.265. So that's really, really good news on the video front. Oh, and of course, we have Canon log, and it is confirmed that it is 10-bit 422 color space. The maximum transfer speed using CF Express 1.0 is 1.97 gigabytes a second. That's bytes, not bits. That's pretty fast. If you're using CFast 2.0, you're capping out at 600 megabytes a second. The image sensor is definitely confirmed at 20.1 megapixels. Now the total pixels is actually 21.4, but we only get to access 20.1 megapixels of that, and it does use the 3.2 aspect ratio. Movies will come in All-I, IPB, IPB Lite, and RAW. They'll use the file extensions of MP4 and CRM. The image extensions are JPEG, HIF, and CR3. Because I've covered the Canon 1DX Mark III extensively, I'm not going to go through every single specification, because you can simply go to the website and do it yourself. But from a video standpoint, from a filmmaker standpoint, we've learned a couple of things here tonight. 4K, 4K DCI, and 4K cropped are available. We also get H.265 along with H.264. And it's not as crippled as we thought. Yes, we don't get to use autofocus in 60 frames per second in 4K, and that is a shame. And we also don't get to record audio. Not too big of a deal. This is a powerful camera. This is a powerful camera aimed primarily at sports shooters. Sport shooters for the Olympics, for car racing, anything where things are moving very, very quickly. Where you can spray and pray, and at 20 frames a second, chances are you're going to do very well. So who is this camera designed for? Well, it is designed primarily for the sports shooter. Olympics, running, horse racing, anything that involves fast action, car racing, for example. 20 frames per second and highly accurate. But it's a very good camera for filmmaking as well. I really wish I could take those filmmaking capabilities and put it into the body of the 5D Mark V or the EOS R Mark II. Now that would be amazing. But if I was Canon, I would do exactly that. I would take the capabilities of the 1DX Mark II, or sorry, the Mark III, the video capabilities, and I would take those and put them into the EOS R Mark II. And then I'd take out my magic cripple hammer and I would take away 4K 60. But I'd give 4K 30. I'd take away a RAW as well, but I'd give you H.264 and H.265. I would give you 120 frames per second in 1080p. With a new sensor, with new autofocusing, I think that camera would be amazing. That is what I believe, that is what I hope will be the EOS R Mark II, the 5D Mark V, because the 1DX Mark III, as amazing as it is as a camera, is not for the ordinary filmmaker. I can guarantee you we're going to see Peter McKinnon filming with this. We'll see Maddie filming with this. We'll see others filming with this. But I don't have the budget for it. I can't afford it. I'd probably be looking at least $10,000 just to kit it out to get it to where I need it to be with CF Express cards, the lenses that I need. But it doesn't take away from the camera. It is amazing. But for me, I'm going to wait for the 5D Mark V or the EOS R Mark II. We might not hear about those until maybe February or March. And why can't I speak? I'm too excited. There's so much going on. The 1DX Mark III is due to be released in the middle of February. That's right around CP+. If you guys have any questions regarding this video at all, send me a note in the comments down below. Send me a question. I'll get back to you within 24 hours. If you would like to receive notifications of new videos as they come out, click subscribe, followed by clicking on that bell icon and choosing all, and you'll be notified. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy New Year, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.